views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to Healthy Edge Radio with Amber Thiel. Living with power, passion, and purpose. Amber has dedicated her life to empowering women to honor and love their bodies. As founder of The Healthy Edge, she is now bringing her message to the airwaves. Tune in for breakthrough, empowerment, and education on how you can love your body, feel amazing, shift your mindset, and create real, lasting results. This is an opportunity for you to learn, grow, heal emotional blocks, and transform your lifestyle. Healthy Edge Radio starts now.
Hey, everybody, listen. Today's show is one of the most amazing topics, I think, for all of us right now that are thinking about our lives and question how we go about making decisions, who we're actually trying to please, the things we do on a day-to-day basis, what we don't do on a day-to-day basis, because Healthy Edge Radio with Amber Thiel and me, Dr. Pat, today is about living with power, passion, and purpose. Today, Amber, you are looking at a title and a topic and an episode today that is probably going to get some of the hair standing up even on Benny's head.
Oh, that's funny.
It should be because I'm bald.
But it's boundaries, the key to getting more of everything you want. And, you know, the antithesis of that is the lack of boundaries is the key to getting more of everything you don't want.
And everything that you've created up to this point that you don't want, that you want to change in your life. So, yes. Yeah, this is a tough topic for a lot of people, like we were just discussing before we started, is that I think everyone would agree that in concept, boundaries are needed, they're necessary, everything from our own lives to boundaries with our children, at the workplace. I mean, there's no doubt that from the outside, conceptually, boundaries are amazing, but it's the fear behind the boundaries, the things that we think the boundaries will take away from us or cost us, that really holds people back. And so that's what I think you and I are going to try to uncover today is really what the truth is around boundaries, and just have a really open and honest, discussion about what these look like.
Yeah. Let's start out with the first part. Why, Amber? Why do we love them?
Well, I think everybody can agree that boundaries make us feel safe. I mean, think about if we were driving, and some of you may have drove up a mountain. And if you've ever drove up a mountain where there was no guardrail, where literally if you veered off to the right or the left, you would go off the cliff. I mean, we think in agreement that a guardrail would be great. That would be a boundary. So just, again, conceptually, they make us feel safe. In our lives, they make us feel safe both physically and emotionally. It's good to have boundaries when you're dating. It's good to have boundaries with relationships in our life, especially with people that maybe you consider to be toxic, or when you get around them, you find yourself, spinning into patterns that don't serve you. Boundaries can give us a sense of control. So knowing what our boundaries are can not only control, but some people would like the word power, gives us power in our lives. And they make us feel like we stand for something. I mean, having boundaries, like, this is what is acceptable and this is what is not acceptable. And so it is about taking a stand, and from the place of establishing boundaries, especially if you haven't been a person who has done this well. But if you want to change anything in your life, if you want to grow as a person, if you want to grow in relationships, in work, and get different results, it's going to have to come with boundaries. So we want to use boundaries to create more time. This is huge. What's the number one objection we get pretty much about everything is I don't have time.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk a little bit later where you're spending your time and kind of reevaluate that. But boundaries create time. They carve out time to allow you to do what you feel like you are called to do and what's most important to you. And boundaries can also preserve emotional energy. So if you are exhausted by people in your life and relationship in your life that are literally sucking the life out of you, oh my goodness, I know that so many people can resonate with this.
Yeah.
Boundaries can preserve that energy and fill you back up. And they keep us safe from toxic people. We kind of talked about that. And I think one of the most important things, Dr. Pat, that I see in my clients is keeping relationships safe. We're going to talk about priorities here in a little bit, but, people say their marriage is most important to them or the relationship with their kids. But the bottom line is we are spending time and energy on not cultivating those relationships. So boundaries allow us to keep the intimacy and the connection in the relationships that are important to us. And also keeps us from being that person that commits to everything because you don't want to say no to anything. And all of a sudden your life is all full of these things that you're not really passionate about, but you don't know how to say no. So they have the power to keep us from committing to things that are not in alignment with what's important to us and what's a priority.
Yeah. You know what I love about this is, and we're going to talk about this today, is that on our way to becoming us, we have to discover what a boundary is. And what I mean by that is sometimes, Amber, and you and I were talking about this a little bit in the last show, is we operate in our life on a day-to-day basis, and violation of boundaries becomes the norm. Mm-hmm. And the way that we kind of figure out that there is something really off kilter is because we start to not feel good emotionally. We start to feel resentment. We start to feel anger. But it's very difficult to pinpoint that I'm feeling like that because I didn't speak up and say, no, don't take food off my plate.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think as we go through the show today, it is going to become very aware to people like what a boundary is and what it isn't, because really our life is all about boundaries. I mean, everything that we've discussed on every one of the shows, I mean, we could look at it through the lens of boundaries from how we think, like boundaries within ourselves, how we think, how we speak to ourselves, what we allow and take in as feedback or criticism, and what we choose to dispel as just somebody else's opinion that's not valid. I mean, it just goes on and on. It's so deep. And I think that that's where this next thing comes in about the fear. So this is really what holds people back. And this is what, I do with my clients, is help them to identify why is it that we don't do what we think that, we know deep in our hearts that we should do. So why don't you create powerful boundaries and hold to them? And it's because of the fear. We think that boundaries will take away something or cost us something. And actually people can think of boundaries as costing them their freedom. Oh, well, if I have these boundaries, then I'm not going to be able to do whatever I want to do. Or it's not going to be fun. If I have boundaries around the people that I hang out with or how much I drink, or, maybe it's around your spiritual journey. Well, it's not going to be fun because boundaries start to get misconstrued as rules. Like it's a rule. And a lot of us don't have really favorable feelings around rules. It makes us think of our parents and school and, whatever comes up for you. But boundaries are power. And so we have to keep going back to that truth. Boundaries are power. They are not restriction. We also have a fear that boundaries are going to take people away from us, or the value that other people have towards us, like feeling accepted. We also can think that boundaries are going to take away our control over other people, which is crazy because now if we're not interacting with that toxic person every day, and maybe that person is a spouse or maybe it's a child or it's a parent, well, then we're not going to have control over them. So even though it's a toxic relationship, we're still involved so much that we feel like if we have a boundary and we spend less time or are less involved, now we're not going to have control, which we don't have control over other people as well. So that dispels that lie right there. We can't control other people. But here's how it goes. We go to the sphere and it leads us through this thinking. I'm going to let people down if I say no. Oh my gosh, I'm going to let people down. Oh, if I say no to this person, they're not going to like me. They're not going to trust me. They're not going to need me anymore. They're not going to come to me anymore. Oh my gosh, now if people don't need me and all of a sudden I'm not significant in their life, then they're not going to love me. And eventually I'm going to be alone. Like it all filters down to two of the most common and deep-rooted fears in every human being is that we will not be loved and we will be alone. And that is why we do not uphold boundaries. We think that they will separate us from people and that we will not be needed and therefore we will not be loved. And ultimately we're going to die alone, which is two of our greatest fears. Yeah. And that is that is false. It actually creates more of what we want, but that is the lie that leads to us not keeping our boundaries.
Yeah. And part of this too that we're going to explore today, which I love, is we have priorities in life and we have a sense of them. Every one of us knows what's most important to us. And we may not say them out loud every day, Amber. We may be like, go through our day and we arrange our day, which means we arrange our life in a way that sets our priorities into play, meaning into action. And so the question really is, how are we able to take these priorities and literally make sure that if we know that these are the things we value in life, that our actions are aligned? That's what we're going to talk about when we come back. But before we do, Amber, can we take a minute first to let folks know more about you, more about Healthy Edge Radio, more about how you're helping people step into the fullness of their lives?
Absolutely. So at the Healthy Edge, we offer a variety of things, but we are really about women. We are about setting women free. And it is so much more than the scale. And it's so much more than the size of jeans you want to fit in. But let me tell you, ladies, I know that it's about that as well. But it is about healing your relationship with food, healing your relationship with yourself, learning how to love yourself and accept yourself. And we spend so much time around diets and obsessing about the scale and going to the gym, and we're just self-absorbed. We walk around, whether you're absorbed about how awesome you are or you're absorbed about how much you hate yourself, you're still self-absorbed. So we really help you to heal that relationship. And we want to bring health emotionally, physically, and spiritually to women so that they can live out their God-given purpose. We all have a purpose and a passion, and it is not, ladies, to gain and lose weight and to be obsessive for the rest of your life. It is way more than that. So everything from our 8-course program to personal coaching, to group coaching, to an online community, to my food prep workshops, we have a variety of things that you can check out at healthyedgeradio.com that can just really fit with what you're looking for right now and the step that you're ready for to set yourself free.
Oh my gosh. Let's take a short break, everyone. When we come back, here's the question. What are the most important things to you in your life? Do you know what they are? If you don't know what they are and you want some help today, because this is the starting point, we are here to help you. For a long time, I didn't know what was important to me. And so my life looked like this beautiful, beautiful, chaotic map going nowhere. Today, we want to help you. Nobody does it better than Amber. And once we do, then how can we help you set up at least one boundary today? At least one. It's going to get you to where you want to go. 1-800-930-2819. 1-800-930-2819. We'll be right back.
What I do. And this time I'm going to do it my way. I hope you enjoy this as much as I do. Are we ready? I am.
Winning at the game of money. Lynn Brown is now offering Full Spectrum Finance, a progressive 12-month program that will help you to navigate through the mechanics of financial expansion. Finally, a financial planner who looks at the full spectrum of money and abundance. Engage you in the mental, physical, and energetic aspects of finance. This is Full Spectrum Finance. Are you ready to get into it? For more information, go to fullspectrumfinance.com.
How would you like increased health and vitality? How would you like to avoid the onset of disease as well as slow the aging process? This is all possible through a simple, safe, and natural process. Every day we are either moving toward wellness or away from wellness.
Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. I'd like to be your partner in achieving optimal health. Contact me now at maryjanemack.com or call 425-392-0659. Visit maryjanemack.com.
Best-selling author, spiritual life, and business coach Joe Nunziata brings his higher energy and no-nonsense style to people who are ready to make powerful changes now. Wake up, step up, power up with a shot of Joe. Join Joe the second and fourth Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern for 30 minutes of high energy, no nonsense, and powerful tools to make powerful changes. Visit joenuns.com. That's JOENUNZ.com.
Your happiness is your choice on Natural Peace Radio. Follow Sarah Van Ryswick as she addresses the power of emotions. Each month, Sarah covers different topics as she helps listeners activate their energetic spark and create powerful energy and amazing opportunities. Manifest your desires with Natural Peace Radio. For more information on Sarah and her work, visit naturalpeaceliving.com.
Ignite your inner magic on Grow Your Soul Radio with Jane Matanga. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as host Jane Matanga explores how to overcome your fears to help you gain the inspiration you need to awaken your path to joy. Learn the way to life mastery and the enlightened path with Grow Your Soul Radio. For more information on Jane Matanga and her work, visit enlightened-path.com.
Are you stuck in unhealthy habits, toxic relationships, or low self-esteem? Do you crave a life of inspiration, love, self-acceptance, and fun? Sounds like you're on the verge to your next big thing. Join Laura Richer, host of On the Verge Radio, helping you use your breakdown for a breakthrough, overcome life's greatest challenges, and live the life you want and deserve. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio or visit SeattleHealingHypnosis.com for more information.
Yeah, that's it. That's going old school on me, Benny, don't you think?
A little bit. You got to have some control somewhere.
Yeah, baby, you do. Amber Thiel is in the house at the Edge Radio. And by the way, we're talking about boundaries. Boundaries. You know, part of the conversation, Amber, that we're going to have today is boundaries sound like, oh, are they talking about that? By the end of the show today, you're going to be saying, yay for boundaries. Mm-hmm. Yay. Yippee. Yeah. I love them. But let's start with that conversation about boundaries and what they actually do to help us focus on the things that are important to us, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, really, it's starting with what's important to us and then establishing boundaries. That's going to make it way more powerful for you. So if you're just creating boundaries just to create them, or because you think it's what you're supposed to do, or you see somebody else doing, it's not going to stick. It's just like what we talked about in a previous episode about your big why. Like, why are you creating these boundaries? There needs to be a big enough benefit. And that all starts with priorities. And I love this topic because you can ask anybody, what are your top 3 or 4 priorities in life? And you typically get the same response. Maybe not in the same order, but it's typically, you know, God, family, friendships, health, what I do at work. You know, it's like the basic responses. And some people have been told what their priorities are through church or through, you know, the way that they were raised. But if you really want to see what your priorities are, it's not very difficult because you already have your priorities established. So that list, let's just throw that list out right now and get to the heart of what your priorities really are. You can find out what your priorities are by looking at your schedule and looking at your bank account. It is what you spend your time on and what you spend your money on. That is what dictates what is most important to you. So let me challenge some of you that some people listening, and I've been in all these categories, so I'm not speaking like I have it all figured out at all. I'm speaking from a place of experience that some of you, your priority is to look good. So literally you walk around all day and you are absorbed in your thoughts and your time and your energy and money in making it appear that you have it all together, or it's about your physical appearance. You spend a lot of time on that, a lot of money on it. So that's your priority, is you want to look good. You want to appear that you're successful, that you're beautiful, that you have it all together, that, your husband's lucky to have you, like whatever that is. Another one of your priorities may be self-absorption. So you feel sorry for yourself all the time. Okay, it could also be self-pity, but you spend a lot of time feeling sorry for yourself. You spend a lot of time complaining why your life hasn't turned out better. You spend a lot of time just sulking and not moving forward in your life and not setting goals and not doing all the things that you have dreamed about and just kind of staying stuck. And you pull people down with you, and all your relationships are around this topic of self-pity. Some of you like to be liked and accepted. So your priority in life is that you want to be liked, accepted, loved. So you don't want to disappoint anyone. You don't want to let anybody down. If I look at your schedule, it is filled with saying yes to other people, what they want you to do. You constantly feel torn with your kids because you're doing. You've got lots of people in your life that are codependent. There's a codependent relationship. You probably enable a lot of people. Some of your priority is to keep everybody happy because you don't want to feel guilty. So you spend a lot of time trying to run away from the guilt. So you're just trying to make everybody happy. Some of your priority is survival. I've been in this mode. You literally just need to survive the day, the week, the hour. That survival may look like binge eating. It may look like drinking. It may look like smoking. So all the things that fill your schedule are coping mechanisms, coping, with people. And for some of you, your priority is success. You want to make a lot of money. You want to have a big house. You want to have more toys. You want to get your nails done every week. You need to have financial stability so that your priority is success. Now, some of you, you're going to have to take some time to think about that, because these are not easy things they're very easy to see in other people. So right now you're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that is so my brother. That is so my husband. That is so my girlfriend. This is about you. Look at your schedule. Just take one day. What are all your thoughts? What are all your actions? How much time do you spend getting ready in the morning? How much time do you spend, doing things that really don't serve anyone but you? These are our priorities, people. And it was a shocker. Dr. Pat asked me, how is your priorities, Amber? And I'm like, how are your boundaries? And I said, until I figured out what my priorities were, my boundaries were non-existent or just for the heck of it.
Right.
So it's huge because we make our decisions every single day based on our priorities. So even if you haven't defined your priorities, you are living them out every single day.
Yeah. And I think part of the conversation too is, how can we help you all listening to the show today get clear about what your priorities are? And it's like you said, what are you spending your time? What are you spending your money on? And the other question is, if you're spending your time and money on a set of items and you discover that one of your priorities or things you value, what you value most, and you look at this and you don't see it anywhere, right? I mean, the listeners now have heard me talk about how much I love to play table tennis, right? And I do. But it would be really odd if you looked at my schedule, Amber, and you didn't see in my calendar any playtime. Mm-hmm. What am I doing? OMG. And, I mean, it's kind of like if your friends are important to you, but you haven't picked up the phone and called any of them in 6 months, OMG. And
people do that because they say, oh, I'm so busy, right? Oh, and so the busy needs to be translated. What are you so busy with? Just look at what you're so busy with. Because if people and relationships are your priority, but you're too busy to call the friend that was diagnosed with cancer, or your friend who's close to having her baby, and, and like all these things that you feel guilty about, right? When you're laying in bed going, oh, I haven't talked to her in so long. That's the gut check, right, Dr. Pat? I mean, that's where you check and you go, okay, this is why I feel unfulfilled. This is why I'm not filled up with the emotions and the love that I want to be filled up with. It's because our priorities are out of whack and our boundaries are not supporting the things that we, really need to have as most important in our life.
Yeah. I want to ask you this question. Every one of us has the ability. I was talking with someone this morning who presented data on a new study about heart disease. And, we were talking a little bit and he was sharing the data. And I said to him, I got to ask you a question. Why is it, if this new data is very clear about our ability to really offset any risk we have for heart disease, why aren't we doing it? And I think it's the same question with us. And so what he said to me was, people don't realize, in essence, he was saying they haven't quite hit their ultimate pain threshold. And this is why we're doing this show today. I really want to encourage people not to hit the boundary pain threshold before you look at this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really looking at what our true commitments are in life. Like, what are we truly committed to? And the list that I just gave, that was probably really hard for some people to hear. When it comes down to it, like, those are our true commitments. And, if somebody says, well, I'm really committed to health, but you're really committed to being liked and accepted by other people. So you go out to eat with your girlfriends 3 times a week, and every time somebody drinks, you drink, and and it's like you always go back to what you're truly committed to and what you truly the place that you operate from. And this is the tough stuff that we get into with our clients, is when you really look at what you're committed to, it can be devastating because you start to see the ramifications of it, not just in your own personal self, but the people around you. It's just really powerful. So let me give you an example. I think that everybody would say, like, family. Family is most important to me. Absolutely. But it's more about, okay, what about a family? I kind of joked with you before the show. I said, okay, so let's say your priority is a family, and so you popped out 3 kids. Are you done? Like, is that it? Like, you hit, okay, well, I have kids, so yeah, I got that family checked off. No, we know that it's deeper than that, but people never take time as a couple, or if you're a single mom or a single dad, or your grandparents raising children. What does family mean? Is it having a healthy family? For some of you, that may not be a priority, but for some of you, it is super important because you grew up with an obese family, or you grew up with the ramifications of diabetes. So it is so important for your family to be healthy. For some people, it's, people not alone, eating alone. That's huge. Like, we used to sit around, we did growing up, all 5 of us around the table every single night. I know that's something that doesn't happen often, but you could have a rule in your family that nobody eats alone. So even if you're having a cup of tea with your kid that came home from soccer practice and it's 9:00 at night, your child is sitting there with you and not eating dinner alone. It could be respect, that there is no back talk, that you look your siblings or your parents in the eyes. There could be a no lying. Like, we are honest in this house and accepting in this house. We're a home of forgiveness. We never go to bed with any type of quarrel or disconnect between you. But how many of you have thought about that? Like, what does a priority of family mean? It does not have to mean that you are spending 10 hours a day together. You may only have 2 hours a day with your children. Like, that is sad, but that's the reality that some of you live, because one of your priorities is security and putting food on the table and paying the bills. I get it.
That's right.
But in those 2 hours, let me tell you what, you need to be living out the focus of what your family priority looks like. What are you creating? And this is where your boundaries come into play.
Yeah.
This is where you have those boundaries of like, what does forgiveness look like? What do we do when we have a fight? Well, we do this. We sit on the couch. We look at each other in the eyes. You talk for 3 minutes, then you talk for 3 minutes. We ask the Lord to have forgiveness in our hearts, like whatever your ritual is. Those are the types of boundaries that are now created. How much more exciting is a boundary when it literally uplifts the whole purpose behind like what you're creating in your life? And we could do this for every topic. Health. Who cares just about health? What about health? What do you want to create? What is it that you're trying to do? Do you want to be a bodybuilder? Do you want to be a marathon runner? Do you just want to be able to enjoy life, enjoy retirement, live to see your grandkids, get married? Like all of these goals look different in terms of what boundaries you're going to put in your life. A marathon runner's boundaries look way different than someone who wants to have an active retirement. So we've got to get clear, man. And this is where it gets really fun because you can do this with your family, with your spouse, with your kids, and you guys can create these boundaries together.
Yeah, I love this because at some point we get confused in the conversation about boundaries and empowerment. So we're going to go to break. When we come back, creating healthy boundaries is the doorway to the freedom around choice and that free feeling in your life about what you can and want to do. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Have you ever wondered if there's a way to heal the deep, hidden inner issues, wounds, beliefs, and traumas? The journey into spiritual healing engages people in all areas of their lives to heal themselves and others. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio as Dr. Jaffe brings conversations of healing of body, mind, and spirit as he merges the excellence of traditional medicine with the beauty of spiritual healing. For more information about Dr. Jaffe, this show, and his work, visit drjaffemd.com.
Are you searching? Looking for a sign? A message you need to hear? From the great unknown, from the most mysterious place that is the most familiar to your soul in the depths of who you are. The universe put someone here to talk to, someone God gave a blessing to, that you may find insight with. TheAngelLady.net. 1-800-323-1790. 1-800-323-1790.
Defining success and putting minds to work. With the Higher Learners Career and Leadership Series, Rudy Racine will help you craft your personal definition of success, offering support and guidance as you move forward towards your goals. Take the leap. With the right mix of focus and motivation, anything can be achieved. Tune in every first and third Monday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 Eastern, and for more information on Rudy Racine and Higher Learners, visit Rudy's site at higherlearners.com. That's HIRE learners.com.
Be you plus live your purpose equals joy. That's the motto of Unstuck Joy with Vicki Todd. Vicki believes you were born with gifts that are meant to make the world brighter. Each show will feature an art visioning journal prompt to help you create your way to soul clarity. If you're ready to get unstuck and create more joy, this show is for you.
Tune in the first and third Tuesday at 3 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit VickiWorldArt.com.
The Janice Underwood Show, helping you create the life you want, not the life you tolerate. Tune in each Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio as Janice delves into the life creator system and the next step in your spiritual evolution. Janice Underwood is gifted at helping spiritually minded people shift their mindsets to unleash the creator within. Our souls wish to wake us up. Those of us listening hear the call. Do you? For more information, visit JaniceUnderwood.com.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, Talk Radio to Thrive By. I am so thrilled to be talking to all of you. We have got talk radio for all of us. Are you you ready and willing and able to accept all of the abundance you can muster up in your life? Check us out, thedrpatshow.com, transformationtalkradio.com, transformationradio.fm. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Hey, everybody. Welcome back. Amber, this is one of the most important conversations we could have right now. And not only is it good for, people listening as individuals, but there's a ripple effect in a positive way to people in our lives, our family, our children, everybody, that is close to us, our work, our bosses. When we are able to stand in a place of empowerment and have healthy boundaries. And not all boundaries have to do with saying no. I think that's a misconception. But before we jump back into it again, please let folks know how they can find out more about you. And then let's talk about, wow, is this a pathway to freedom?
Yeah, so healthyedgeradio.com is where you can take a look at what we offer. Typically, it's women. A lot of times the hubbies come along for the ride. And of course, everything that a woman does in her household is going to affect her family. That's why it's important for you to take care of you. So we've got lots of different things going on at healthyedgeradio.com versus everything from a community to food prep workshops to an online lifestyle program for women, personal coaching, and we even have free coaching sessions available if you want to talk to somebody and explore more about your particular journey and what would fit best. So where we left off, Dr. Pat, I know that we kind of wanted to circle around to the whole freedom thing. It's not just freedom for ourselves, but it's also for other people. And there's a misconception that boundaries are selfish and that it will make our life smaller and kind of put people maybe at a distance. Sometimes that is the purpose of boundaries, if it's a toxic relationship or something that's unsafe for you. But I want you to think about boundaries in a different way. And this is really about allowing people to come into the person that they're supposed to be. So when we don't have boundaries, and we enable people and we say yes when we mean no. And even when you take an opportunity that you really don't want, but you're just doing it out of obligation, you're doing it because, they can't find anyone else, you're playing God. Let me just say that. Okay, if you were not called to do that and you're doing it out of guilt or obligation, which is what I call false choice, you are actually taking that opportunity away from the person who it was created for. Now, we know that God all works it out. Like, you're not going to mess up God. It's not like God's like, oh, I didn't see that. He already knows that that's going to happen. But I want you to find some freedom in that when you know that you're saying yes to something that is not in alignment with your priorities and your calling, know that that is for a reason, that opens up the opportunity for somebody else to come in, that it is a part of their purpose. Same thing when you say yes to something, maybe something that you're really scared about, like, oh my gosh, that's too big. I couldn't possibly do that. You go back to your priorities and you look at them and say, you know what, though? That's in alignment with my priority. That's in alignment with who I believe that I am and who I've created to be and the purpose that I think that I'm supposed to be. And so even though I'm super scared about this and I totally feel inadequate, I'm going to do it anyway. And that is actually a form of a boundary. Maybe you have a boundary that says, I will say yes, even if I'm intimidated, even if I think that I can't do something, if it is in alignment with my priority and I feel that it's part of my purpose. And so it's really, really, really important that we understand that boundaries are a way to do what's best for ourselves and in turn, do what's best for the people around us. So when we say no, we allow other people to continue on their journey, and your no may have been the biggest yes in their life. A yes for them to grow, a yes for them to get off their tush and figure it out themselves, a yes for them to stop, being in a codependent relationship, or stop, moping and sulking and not moving forward in their life. So your no may be somebody else's yes. And I want some people listening to this to find freedom, because again, most of our boundaries that we don't uphold is around other people. Mm-hmm. And we've got to know that these boundaries are a way to bless people. And so you may be feeling a little bit overwhelmed right now. Like Dr. Pat and I talked in the break, like we want you to come away with like one boundary. And maybe boundary isn't powerful for you. I was just thinking about this. Maybe it's safety net. You know, maybe boundary makes you think like a guardrail, and like it's really rigid. And it's you know, maybe safety net. Maybe you think like, oh, and maybe not a safety net that if you fell, it would kind of hurt, but maybe there's like a down comforter, like waiting there for you. Or maybe it's like a big blow up house, you know, where if you like, I don't know, fell and kind of went into like a big blow up thing. I don't know, some type of visual that maybe makes it feel a little bit more safe or, you know, calming for you than the word boundary. But think about an area of your life that you are struggling with, that you know, yes, I want this to be a priority, but based on my time and energy and money, like it's not. Yeah, and what is one thing today that would open up, you know, just more energy and more light and more love into that area? Because man, one decision, just one boundary will give you proof that there is power in this. And that, my friend, do it for a week, do it for 2 weeks, and then create another boundary. Don't try to, you know, bite off the whole elephant. Don't try to eat the elephant. Right, exactly. Just take one bite, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Because, you know, part of this is try it. How does it feel? Try it. How did it work? Try it. Oh, okay. Make an adjustment. You know, try it, do the, you know, it's like anything else we do in life. You know, maybe there are some people listening to this that sort of popped out and became experts at what they do. Clearly, Benny and I have had to learn a few skill sets here along the way, you know, and as we learned them, you know, for me, it opened the door to say, wow, okay, yeah, now let me try this, now let me try that. But in the end, it's all energy. And if we're not willing to look at things in our life that we're doing that we don't really want to do and building up resentments, that is not going to get us the life that we want. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
The earth is an ever-changing being. Goddess light shamanic healer Bree Gibbs guides us through the ascending worlds, bringing forth knowledge and truth. As a light creator, she is here to provide new information needed at this time in our evolution. Join Bree as she shares messages from guides, spirits, ascended masters, goddesses, and others. Tune in Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific for Silver Gaia Radio.
The Truth is Funny. Shift Happens with Colette Marie Steffen is excited to welcome Karen Benton as a monthly guest host. Tune in on the third Wednesday of each month at 8 a.m. Pacific time to regain confidence and trust in your capacity to create change in your life, your health, your family, and your well-being. Karen Benton is a mother, nurse practitioner, certified body talk practitioner, Franklin Method instructor, and owner of Limitless Living LLC. For more information about Karen, visit KarenBenton.com.
Conscious Confidence Radio, a timeless wisdom with Sarah Main. Tune in each month on Transformation Talk Radio and join Sarah on an adventurous journey to the deeper level of meaning to move beyond today's world of constant change, confusion, and uncertainty beyond the shadow of fear. This hit show explores key concepts such as confidence, values, and attitude in a dynamic way. To learn more about Sarah and her work, visit sarahmain.com.
Did you know that all of the shows on the Transformation Radio Network are available as podcasts to stream or download?
Really?
Check us out. Go to transformationradio.fm. We have business shows, spiritual shows, energy healing shows, and pretty much everything in between. Something for everyone, guaranteed to inspire, educate, and transform. We are transforming the world, one listener at a time.
This is Debbie Pokornik with a break-free parenting tip. Parenting will always be a bit of a mystery. Who knows why some parenting ideas work and others do not? or why some kids seem to succeed despite family setbacks, while others have so much given to them and yet fail to thrive. The one thing we do know is that once you have a child, you'll never be quite the same again. Awe-inspiring emotions like overwhelming love, extreme guilt, intense frustration, and incredible joy make this job second to none. Breaking free of parenting pressures means recognizing the pieces that make us unique, the pieces that we carry with us from the past, and the pieces that are influenced by the society we live in. When we can pick and choose which pieces we want to keep around and change the others to align with our inner wisdom, we will feel more self-assured in our role as a parent.
For information and to work with Debbie, visit empoweringnrg.com.
Oh, yeah, I love that. Amber, how can people follow you on Facebook? Tell us a little bit about that as well.
Yeah, so on Facebook, you can check out The Healthy Edge, and we've got lots of incredible tips and videos and recipes. We've got clean eating challenges, 10-day free challenges that come up about 4 times a year. So if you follow us on Facebook at The Healthy Edge, you can find out all about those. Mm-hmm. And of course, at healthyedgeradio.com, we'll also have information about any of our upcoming challenges and then other ways that you can connect with us.
Awesome. Okay. Let's talk about now, how do we talk about what to do and how to enforce them, or what to do. The question is, how do we enforce them?
Enforce. It's kind of, some of you guys aren't going to like that word. So maybe you want to, I'm always about words. So you might want to switch that word out if that word's not resonating with you.
Okay.
But first and foremost is I want to let everybody know that just because you have boundaries doesn't mean that everybody needs to know what those boundaries are. So sometimes we want to make the boundaries into a bigger deal than what they are. They do not need to be broadcasted. Hey, by the way, I'm deciding to only talk to you once a week because you are toxic. No. You just do it. Okay. I've had relationships in my life where one phone call a month, one phone call a week. I even have boundaries on the topic. There are some people I only talk to the weather about. Do you know how long you can talk about the weather to somebody who maybe is a little older in life and, that's kind of all they're doing right now is kind of watching the weather because they're retired or whatever. I mean, I have relationships where there are certain topics that are off limit. Now, they don't know that, but I always steer the conversation back to the topics that are on point and the ones that are safe for me to talk to. So that's just an example for some of you that are freaking out like, oh my gosh, I could never, create a boundary around so-and-so. Or, okay, you create it and you implement it, but it doesn't need to be said. And it can be done in a loving way where all of a sudden things kind of start to shift and they feel the shift, but it's subtle. It's gentle. It's just something that just happens as we evolve in relationships. Relationships just change. And so it could be as easy as that subtle, gentle change. Now, obviously in an abusive relationship, this is a different conversation.
That's different.
But, and I think that your listeners know that, but just in some of those relationships with the conversations and things like that. I think the other hard part about not hard part, but a part that some of you are going to maybe struggle with, and I want you to know that it's normal, is that you can't have any expectation of how other people are going to react. So I know a lot of my clients have codependent relationships with people in their life that are not healthy. And I'm talking like, the girlfriend who calls you 10 minutes before your workout because she wants you to come and have a drink with her instead of working out. Or the friends that you meet up on Friday and they totally razz you if you don't get 2 glasses of wine and eat the, fried. I mean, those are types of boundaries that need to be established for some of you that are on a health journey. And you can't have any expectations of how the people are going to react. So if your boundary is, I'm having 1 glass of wine and I'm getting the side salad or I'm getting the grilled taco platter or whatever, and however the reaction is to the people around you, you can't have any expectations. Now, eventually that reaction will go away. And if they're true friends, and this is a true friendship, they're going to love you and want to spend time with you, regardless if you eat 5 onion rings and have a dessert. Okay? Like, that's just the reality of the relationship. And if they're not willing to be friends with you because of that, then, I think that's like a whole nother topic.
Yeah, that's like an hasta la vista, baby.
Exactly. So we can have no expectations about how the other person will react, as long as you know that your boundaries are in alignment with your priorities and that you're establishing it because of love for yourself and love for other people around you. It's none of your business what other people think. And I love that saying. I tell myself that all the time. It is none of my business what other people think about me. Like, it really isn't. They're in their own mind. I mean, if they want to spend all their time thinking about me or whatever, like, okay, that's their choice, but it's really none of my business. I just need to be true to who I know that I am and in alignment with the things that are most important to me. And I just need to focus on that, because focusing on what other people think is just wasted energy and energy.
It's hard.
That will really take you down a spiral really, really fast.
Yeah. It's not only wasted energy, but what it does is it invites into our own consciousness a state of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's really, there's an expression that a friend of mine uses and about your life is really none of my business. And, that sounds really harsh, but what they're saying to me is, I'm going to love you no matter what you do. But for me to kind of butt into your affairs without you asking me is going to cause a state or a condition on my own. And, what you're sharing today is really interesting in that we can't forget, Amber, that we actually have choice.
That's the whole crux of our existence. Is that we have free will, and we always, and we have a choice.
Yeah.
And when you feel like you're living a life that's been taken away, that is by that is an atmosphere that's been created. That's not the truth. The truth is we always have a choice. We may not like what our options are. That's the real issue. It's that we don't like what our options are. Well, Amber, I have no other choice. I can't quit my job. Or Amber, I have no other choice. I can't just move. I can't just leave. Yes, you can. Those choices, you may not like those choices, but you have power when you acknowledge, okay, I do have a choice. And some of us choose the path of least resistance. And I'm not saying that that's wrong or that's bad, but sometimes the path of least resistance is the path that has been laid out for us, but oftentimes it is not. It's that rocky, crazy path that you've got to be thinking, I mean, I am nuts to choose this path, but think about how much more rewarding it is when you get the end of that path versus the path of least resistance. Think about how much stronger you are, how much wiser you are, how much more you can share with other people. I mean, think about all the benefits. So some of you want to keep this least resistance path going, and that's why this is a hard topic for you. But for those of you that realize that there's strength to be gained in this journey, and there's wisdom, and there's power, and there's grace, and just connection to your creator that you could have never imagined. When you start to think about those benefits, then this topic starts to look a lot, not easier to tackle, but more, maybe a little bit more attractive.
Yeah, appealing. What it is it's probably like, I never thought I had an option to do this. And what you're saying, Amber, is, oh yeah, you do. And we're here to help you.
Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you for the show today. One more time, how can people find out more about you and personal message for today?
Awesome. So again, healthyedgeradio.com. That's where you can connect with me. I'm giving free coaching sessions. I would love to chat with you and really hear about your journey, where you want to go, what's holding you back. and then discuss with you just all the things that we offer, from all different budgets to time commitments that can fit into your priorities and the boundaries that you've established after this amazing show. I would love to help you do that. So that's at healthyedgeradio.com. And what I want to leave you with is the last key to implementing these boundaries after having no expectations of other people, and really understanding that people don't need to know what these boundaries are, that you can gently implement them, but schedule it. So really looking at your schedule, and if time and money are the things that indicate our priorities, then you may need to pencil in yourself, time with God, time with your family, time to sit down with your spouse and talk about what's most important with how you're raising your children or in your marriage. So put it on the schedule, create that as a place that is sacred to you, that what is in the schedule is what is a priority. And that is going to really help you to actually start to see the manifestation of these boundaries if you schedule. So if it's that one phone call to that friend that you talk to way too many times during the week that just pulls you down and she's just not willing to move forward no matter what, you just keep talking about the same stuff over and over and over again. You need to put that time in your schedule. That's when you're going to call her. Maybe you text her every day, some type of message, but that's not that phone conversation that takes you down into the pit of hell that you have to take a day and a half to get out of. So it's little things like that. I believe in you. I'm going to be praying for all of you. And I just thank you, Dr. Pat, for your time and your insight and wisdom. And it was a pleasure. So.
Yeah. And the bottom line with all this, we're here to help our listeners absolutely live an amazing life. Thank you for living, breathe it, and being it, Amber. Thank you so much. Wow. We're going to take a short break, everyone. You know what? We're not done. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
You've been listening to Healthy Edge Radio with Amber Thiel, living with power, passion, and purpose. If you've missed any part of this show, you can download the podcast at getthehealthyedge.com. Tune in live each month as Amber Thiel, founder of The Healthy Edge, joins Dr. Pat to create amazing conversations that will empower and inspire.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.